Yeah, just
Yep.
for record, OP beat Screwloose 7-3 in their first matchup in week 2. With week 10 here, it's going to be OP's advantage. But let's get the picks and bans started.
All right, well, let's pull it up here. We have from Screwloose a ban on Ballroom, and from OpiWrites a ban on Gallery. We have restricts on High Rise and Aquarium. And then our picks here doubled Redwoods and doubled Veranda. And then singling into each person's restrict, we have a single onto Aquarium and a single onto High Rise.
If you know something about these players, none of this is surprising. Ballroom, very popular for OP. Gallery, very popular for Screw. They end up picking each other's restricts. OP likes his Redwoods. So I think the only interesting thing that may not have been expected from OP would be Screwloose's doubled Veranda, which we'll see if someone can get a spy win on the 5 of 8. I'm looking at OP spying on Redwoods for us to start.
As
When I say
wheels.
looking, I mean he's behind a tree, which is pretty typical of Redwoods.
Yes, I am ready.
Okay, give me just one moment. Mine's still loading up, actually. Okay. And Chorus, you ready?
I'm ready to go.
Fantastic. OP, Wheels, Redwoods. Getting this platinum match started in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Wheels an interesting choice, because they are shorter just compared to the rest of the party because they're sitting in their wheelchair. Uh, that often does give them cover. The cover on Redwoods, though, is mainly the lines of the trees. It's not going to be like you hiding behind something that's tall. That bug does not come off for OP, but it doesn't look like he's taken the shot or gotten a highlight for it.
Yeah, I think I would go thinness over height on this map. Do get 47%, which means we'll still need two more, but still better than the standard. Doesn't seem like Wheels is a proper suspect from that earlier bug attempt. It's just that conversation is the one that's spam.
Yeah, Wheel's wrong arm's kind of interesting because Wheels' bugs are pretty rough if the sniper knows what they're looking for, and anybody in SCL should know what they're looking for. It's the arm coming off the arm bar. But when you're doing a wrong arm bug with Wheels, you're making a different arm from what's expected to come up. And he had the drink in hand, so it was something that it was either going to work correctly or it was not going to take at all. It just didn't actually land. Ambassador comes near us, seduction target leaves. We are stuck with our 47%, and we're talking when the ambassador was nearby. We didn't get any of the mission completion we were hoping for there.
Yeah, now we're running relatively lowish on time. We have only 1 minute 50 left. There we go. There's the timer to compensate for that. It is a green. Um, so not sure if that will be noted.
He, we're doing the briefcase behind cover. This is one of those advantages of playing wheels. He's a discount smallman in a sense. Uh, and we picked it up really quickly. It was like that was very deliberative by OP in regards to sneaking by that fingerprint. We still need to finish missions despite the time ad, and general coming into our conversation would definitely help. Here we go, 72%. We've hit greens on both, but we were never actually on their toes. So we are going to need to have a pretty decent flirt. Either a close white or another green from this position should be good to go. That we might want to
Yeah,
check the math.
and unless we get a bug, I say we still will need a little bit more time. The red bookshelf is now printable, but even if you account for banana bread and finishing flirt, you still need one more mission, and time keeps ticking down.
Yeah, and the problem with Redwoods, and this has caught me off guard, is if you're trying to go to mid statue. So say you go to a statue now, and then you go to that bookcase for the print and the final two inspects, and that looks like what OP is trying to line up here. You can't do 3 missions. That's an immediate swap. That's not the fingerprint. We might want to just get out of here, but we need to get the fingerprint and the inspect if we're going to be completing those missions. Um, OP hasn't been shot for it, but lowlights are coming off. We also haven't been highlight for it, but it looks like it's down to us and Disney, and we're framing the Purloin. This is actually the right person to frame against.
And General just took our bookshelf, I believe.
Yeah. Here comes the Purloin. We're trying to get a Disney shot, but Screwloose takes the shot on us instead. Not sold on the frame, despite the fact that he did get it down to those two people. Uh, Opie's the more suspicious in this case. Well done by Screw to not fall for the trap.
Yeah, especially that I'm not sure that Disney talked. Yeah, now that I double checked, Disney did not talk during that time. So if Screw noticed that, aside from other things that OP did along the game, uh, Disney could not have delegated us.
Yeah, you can always stop talk it, but even in those situations, when someone comes into a conversation and gets sent out immediately, it's often the spy trying to replicate. Because what are the chances that Disney does a green swap, notices Wheels uh, is the person who did the white swap, and then Wheels conveniently comes into conversation while he has the purloin loaded. It's just a lot less likely than the spy is trying to mess with you.
Yeah,
Screwloose is going to be
agreed.
starting here on general, and we'll get this started in three, two, one, playing it. Smallman, come here. Smallman did not come here. Smallman decided he wanted to flirt with Queen, who, as we all know, is a good choice to flirt with. Oh, Smallman wants to get highlight for that. That was a bug path and a half.
And we're definitely able to frame him later. Just we know he can be the SDA. And like you mentioned, Smallman does get a highlight to start with. We are only at 31% flirt, so we will need to green something later. And we were too far for that bug and too much watched for that bug opportunity early in the game.
Yeah, just to explain catnips why we need a green, the math adds up. It's 31% currently. The most you can get with a white test is 34% plus another 34%. That will put us at 99%. And every time the spy reaches 99% seduction target, a Toboshi dies. So we don't want that. We want to hit the green here. We do get it. We're back at 78, which was the same amount we saw Opie had actually. And Screwloose is in good position that does need to get some other mission other than Seduce started, or we're going to be in a bit of a time crunch.
Yeah, on the other hand, if you do end up like all your flords here, you don't have to you don't have to uh concern yourself with potentially flirting later. Like that's done, you get a time at and you just get on with other things. Because usually the snipers will try to look for, oh, a quick talk after another mission. So that's the last flirt, and thus I shoot.
Okay, Screwloose ending up at this bookcase. I think he might have wanted the briefcase or something else. There's just nothing at that bookcase. Maybe he thought there was a fingerprint here. He's very much actively idling, and I'm not sure at this point, if Screwloose has a full understanding of if he needs to frame someone, who it would be, he is at least noticing that red dress is at the red bookcase. She might be a good target if we go fetch a delegate purloin. Um, Otherwise, Screwloose might be in a real hard spot here. I think he's in a worse spot than he started at the beginning of the game for sure.
Yeah, and you can see that from his camera shake a little bit. I think at this point we try to frame RSD, especially considering that he is in a convo with the real DA, and we do know that. Uh, we need to do something if we plan to finish with mission, like
Okay.
two time ads right away.
To clarify, that wasn't a camera shake, that was a camera nod. We wanted to frame Alice, who's now stepped over. The highlight comes off for the inspector, maybe the swap, but it's going to be a shot on Alice. It's
Oh
a good
wow.
frame. Screwloose understands that Alice has been to, I assume, the red bookcase and swaps for her. Opie does not catch the fade, which is going to be really hard to catch on Redwoods because you would have to be specifically looking at it. And Screwloose pulls off a really, really strong frame here.
Fair enough, I stand quite corrected.
Okay. Uh, Opie is going to be playing red dress here, down 2-0 on his map pick. This is one that you really want to pull back in three, 2, 1, planet. What's the plan? Plan looks like nothing.
I think,
Blue bookcase is one of the places you want to be, and he's picking it out immediately. We might just cheese this.
yeah, and to correct, the Redwoods was actually Screwloose spec.
That's
Um,
that's interesting. I did not expect that. OP's really liked his Redwoods. Maybe Screwloose knows something about it. OP has also been playing quite aggressively. Flirt before pickup, but it's the far away person. It's still 39%. That's a lot of flirt for being pretty far away from our seduction target.
yeah, I would initially say, it's Redwood, so it's okay to do that. On another hand, it's Platinum, so you're probably right nonetheless.
Yeah, I think we're more likely to have been paired with Queen though. And right now, Queen and our seduction target are in a conversation. If, for example, Disney was to move and we were to go in there, we might accidentally just continue a flirt pairing. That's a false pairing. We do get the fingerprint
Banana
here.
bread.
Another banana bread. We have uh, the startings of 3 more missions. If we decide to just finish up the missions we already have, it's going to be microfilm, inspect, and seduce. This is a fine starter at getting the second seduce in, and Queen's gone to mention.
Yeah, that's definitely much better than the first game we saw where it was 150 and we had only two-thirds of a mission done. So it's nice to see that OP does pick up the pace a bit for that, and our because now aside from that we have one and two halves of other missions done. We cannot bug here. Oh,
We
I
can.
really want.
We can. We shouldn't, but we we do have the ability to. OP does it. OP gets shot for it. Uh, on Redwoods, you kind of sometimes he's not looking at the laser to see if the laser had a good angle on it. You're just hoping that the trees are in the way because they often are. But yeah, with the sniper holding the angle, not a advisable bug in any sense.
I mean, I'll rephrase it like that. We can debug and survive.
There you go.
There.
Let's see Screwloose try to 4-0 on his map pick. Thank you for correcting me on that because this is interesting. OP likes his Redwoods, and if he goes down 4-0 on it, he might not like it anymore. We're playing some Queen here for Screwloose. It's gonna be in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Well, he'll always have ballroom mode. He
Bug, bug, bug. Yeah, drink in hand,
drinking
and
the.
it's a lot harder to get the walking bugs with Taft as the ambassador. He does have the bulk, so things like standing bugs or like drive-bys are really good. But like double walking bugs, someone a bit slower, like Carlos or even someone like Pearls, has been chosen as ambassador by some players. Makes him a bit more possible. Drink in hand, and it was probably being watched anyways. OP is a good bug watcher.
Yeah, I'm just impressed by that early quickie of a flirt that still got 51%. I thought as the even leave before we can flirt properly. But we have good start. We don't even pick a highlight for it yet because OP is looking um, to the other parts of the map, so that is nice. The thing is, do we know it?
Yeah, so Screwloose did go in to that statue very quickly. He picked it up very quickly. He put it down very quickly. Some like soft etiquette stuff that someone like OP would know, but not necessarily be watching for. But I think it indicates to us as casters and as chat that he was very much trying to get in and out on that inspect without being seen there, and it seems like he got away with it. It I think most inspects, if not all inspects, otherwise have been highlight for. And so I think Screwloose going to a bookcase here now, like the red or green, while we have been to both bookcases, uh, might not be credited for the full mission, and that's a huge deal, especially with Obi down 3-0.
Yeah, before this match, I held OP to be the favorite, but Screwloose has been outperforming him so far. So this is interesting turn of events
Ooh,
in
that's
that.
sorry to interrupt you, but Ambassador going to red bookcase is kind of perfect, because that's going to be our final 2 inspects. It's going to be our fingerprint too. And
And
the fourth mission, if here we can get the banana bread in a reasonable time. Oh, DA leaves. But we had a very clear plan of finishing, and I think it was a good one because we got away with the first inspect.
Banana bread.
This is a
very
strong
much.
fake. Because the DA left and nobody else has joined this conversation, we know for a fact that Smallman's not the SDA, and therefore this is a fake. It doesn't bait out any like low light, like assume real, but it does give a lot of people credit that we shouldn't have.
And the sad thing is, however, that Pearl is stealing our fingerprint there, so we will need to hit the difficulty.
Okay, it's gonna be the green bookcase instead. Pearls has ruined our fun. This is a very quick pickup. Uh, what's the fourth mission gonna be? We could go slam the microfilm. That's a red test. That's exactly what we didn't want. Wow, that was a microfilm. He panicked. He hit the red test microfilm, which is probably the worst animation in the game. And Opie immediately shoots him for it. Probably already suspicious that he might have gotten away with the microfilm at the blue bookcase when we got the fingerprint earlier too.
Yeah, and this red test animation didn't seem that bad as with some of the other characters, but it was still visible enough to get us the red safety off silhouette and get shot.
Yeah, I think there was another 3 or 4 seconds to that animation too.
Yeah.
They're so long and painful. Uh, and he wanted to inspect because he wasn't going to be completing animation microfilms anyways. That'll bring OP back into the game. Still down 3-1, but now they get to move on to their map pick, which is Veranda. The spy side of Veranda is not friendly just because anytime you have to finish 5 missions compared to 4 or 3, it is going to be a bit of an uphill battle, but OP's the man to do it in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, and Screwloose said in chat that it was probably action priorities, and he meant to inspect rather than microfilm there,
Of course.
which would definitely explain it.
Yep. It's interesting. I personally, when I get action priority stuff where I end up doing the wrong thing, I usually hit those greens because I mean, not expecting them. Like when I'm trying to do a fingerprint accidentally pull up swap, I just panic and always hit the green. It doesn't help. I'm still green swapping when I don't want to be swapping, but that's not true for most people. Most people, when they do an action test and they choose the wrong one, they panic and they're much more likely to get a red test.
Yeah, I mean, I can't hit greens that well even when I go for it, so when they're unexpected, even more so.
We had bug opportunities. We still have bug opportunities. That's a great bug from Opie, realizing that Mom isn't going to stop us here with the standing bug and taking the opportunity that arises. Really good stuff from Opie, and it's the sort of stuff that he needs to do on his map pick to bring this back. We are also quick. With Taft, he's the fastest character in the game despite being quite portly. Uh, very useful in Veranda. It's a big map.
Um, it does seem we're under quite a lot of heat now, right? The we could have been credited with a bug path even though Screw didn't see it as such. We went for a fingerprint quick after that. Uh, and I believe that's what we got the highlight for.
Yeah, Screwloose is gonna have a lot of highlights if he's highlighting for both inspects and fingerprints. But it does bode poorly for Opie. When you have a microfilm in pocket, you really want to avoid being highlight. Getting the second microfilm is much harder.
True. I mean, however, Veranda is the kind of map where you can get away with some sort of dark corner to do the nasty filming in.
Yeah,
Microfilming, I meant.
the classic time ad window. And yeah, we can see Opie's looking at the time ad window. uh, is also a fine place to be doing a microfilm if you have enough time. The concern here is Opie is it actually running the clock. We only have the one mission completion with 3 partials, and there's nothing for us with the only thing that's happening is the ambassador walking by, but we already have bug. Here comes the microfilm possibility. Opie is looking at the laser, but the laser seems to be looking at us too. He's not going to take it immediately. and that means we're gonna run ourselves even harder on the clock. We're gonna probably need to do a time ad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate that book in hand right now because we can still finish Flirt, we can still do Banana Bread. In the meanwhile, though we probably would like not to do Banana Bread, just finish the other missions. Um, so I don't hate it that much, but yes, we definitely need a time ad and better needed it a bit earlier, because now it's likely to be more noticeable.
Okay, we're going back for the opportunity. It looks like Screw's a bit more distracted this time, so we might get away with this one. Um, the problem is, even with this microfilm, and it's a really hard mission to get away with, we still need to finish the other missions, and things like trying to get into this conversation for the flirt, we get safety offed on. There's no reason to shoot just yet. We know that
Ooh,
is
that's
a the
definitely a
missing the
hard
pad
no, though.
the missing of the pad isn't a mission. The flirt into immediate leave into statues more than enough. Uh, if it's
Yeah,
not a
and this,
hard tell, it's a very, very big tell. It's
I
it's
mean, the safety off earlier was for a weird wobbly path that didn't have AI logic to it, I believe. So,
100%.
yeah, so there's that thing as well.
Yeah, it's just, and this is something that we always talk about when we are talking about not necessarily platinum players, but like how to improve your game with the people coming in their first season. You don't need to shoot for etiquette. That missed pathing, the wobbly pathing, isn't a reason to shoot because they're not going to win the game in the next 10 seconds. You can be 99% sure, and then the spy will do something silly like walk into conversation, immediately flirt, immediately go to statues, and then inspect swap for you. Like you're good to go. You don't need to shoot for etiquette because AI do weird
Yeah,
things
but
sometimes.
you want to?
Oh, shooting for cool like is 100% my style.
Yeah,
Like
and
I,
it's
I I
sort
I
of
don't listen to my own advice, Catnip. That's not the point.
fair. And it's not just for, to be cool, but there's also establishing your authority against the opponent, right? Like, I
Oh, if,
got
if
you
you can
right
if you can
there.
shoot them in the
Nigga.
first 15 seconds, and scare them for the rest of their life, take that opportunity. Shooting for no controls, top notch, like chef's kiss of how to intimidate your opponent. Screwloose is probably pretty intimidating. He's up now 4-1, playing more wheels here on Veranda in 3, 2, 1, playing it. I do believe it was Opie the first time on wheels, but we're gonna start rolling here, really trying to get this flirt and just not having the opportunity. We can go to statues if we want the double dip, but I don't think Screw will.
Yeah, and I think they're both intimidating, and I played against Screw competitively, and he's definitely intimidating. But I think OP is as well. Just Screw's turning out to be even more so in this match. And the first match was won by OP, you said, right?
Yes, OP won, I believe I said 7-3. And let's talk about the standings a bit because Platinum's really tight. With the East dropping early in this season, nobody's going to get sixth place, which means that there's nobody who's going to get immediately kicked out of Platinum. Let's quickly note that this is a very strong microfilm spot when you're wheels because you've got a lot of cover. It's being completely rotated on because OP is probably aware of that, along with the ambassador being on this side.
And Toby.
Um, and Toby. So, but there's players who are doing quite well, but Lazy Bear is really the only person who's not gotten at least 3 losses. So with that in mind, Lazy Bear's top dog. Opie's in this sort of spot where if he wins this game, he's very much in contention for the top spot. If he loses this game and also gives points to Screwloose, he's potentially in danger. Being fifth place here means that you'll have to play for your spot in platinum against someone from gold, and you'd rather not do that. People like Chef or Cotty are not easy customers.
Yeah, another thing that's not easy right now apparently was Screw's passing, or his wish to get outside of that side of the map. So instead, he just goes back and chills in an innocent conversation.
Yeah, it looks like OP's really watching some of these highlights and keeping the ambassador really safe. Screwloose has played some very slow games to start, though. Redwoods had a lot of potential for fast play, but we saw the frame. Veranda has a lot of potential for cheeky things like the really quick microfilms and whatnot. But Screwloose hasn't chosen to do those yet. Purloin here with a conversation full of highlights would have actually been pretty good, but I'm not sure Screwloose would necessarily know that. On Veranda, it's really hard to pull off frames for two reasons. One, it's 5 of 8. It's really hard to convince the sniper that 5 missions are being done by an AI. And two, half the time, like, you can't see around the corner. You don't know who's picked up a statue at the other side of the map. Um, who might be more suspicious or who's done a bug path. If you're not like right here, this is actually a really good vantage point for the map, but you're at a statue, you're not going to be here all day.
Yeah. So we've done one time, and I feel like we would need a second one. We are now getting the second set of inspects and the first flirt of the game.
We haven't taken the highlight. Screwloose does have a pretty nasty like character selection problem, where he just really likes some characters. And maybe just the fact that we've chosen wheels is throwing OP off because the idea that we haven't been highlight when we've done two inspects is kind of weird, and I can't really pin it down. Maybe OP's in chat and give us some insight on why he hasn't noticed
Banana
Screwloose
bread.
had two inspects yet, or at least rewarded it with a highlight. Not taking the bug here, that's kind of unfortunate, but we can line it up. The problem is we're going to spend about 20 seconds. If the ambassador comes through here, which isn't even a guarantee, ooh, and we only have 51%. If we're gonna be looking towards the floor, it basically has to be a big green. That's a banana bread. That's not the bug that we probably wanted.
Banana bread.
It has to be action priorities, and I believe there was a minor camera shake in this one. In this case, actually, if we do go for the fingerprint there,
This
but
will
we're
be a
still.
fingerprint, and we also need the microfilm. We're gonna go for the very cheeky. Yeah, this is death. 100%. OP seeing it coming from a mile away doesn't need a highlight there from the inspects to notice it. And I'm not even sure how we're supposed to finish with this anyways, because we're just running a bit low on time.
Yeah, I actually was thinking he was going for another time at there at the window pad.
Okay. Snipers have taken Veranda, which not unexpected. We got OP playing some Bling Twin in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Here comes the time ad window. It's tried and true. This curtain used to be a bit less friendly. Yeah, it's a double
Second.
time ad. He's supporting my cause.
Yeah,
We get to have a rant about time ads. You want to have a rant about time ads? Because I want to have a rant about time ads.
I
So
mean, I'm not sure what kind of rant would come from my side aside from I need to watch for them.
so there's the concept of diminishing returns, right? Like if you do 5 time ads and you're playing 10-minute veranda, the difference between 10-minute veranda and 8-minute veranda versus say like 2-minute veranda versus 1-minute veranda, uh it doesn't matter. Like there is such thing as too many time ads. But the nice thing about time ads when you do them in multiples is one, if you do green tests, they stack. The time doesn't get slower. It doesn't literally just come to a grinding halt. It's always going to just be either going regular speed or normal. And even if you do like multiple whites, you're still n- trimming it down to one instance. You're saying if you don't catch me in these 5 seconds, I get to play with 6 minutes. Good luck. And OP is very good at these sort of moment plays. The very quick bugs, the uh, just doing nothing, doing everything, doing nothing, and really just trying to get you to miss the doing everything because it's just a short period of time. I like the time ads. It's very much obviously something I'm known for, though.
Um, on
Without
another,
time ads, it's nothing.
I wonder if so Boots and Disney got a highlight just for being in a condo, and there was an SDA there. I think that maybe because the timeout was noticed and they were candidates for it. We are still neutral though at this point, but also we have absolutely zero
bread.
mission progress.
We get the low light for the fake banana bread. Obi taking a bit of risk there, just hoping that Taft isn't the SDA, and it pays off. Now we are actually running the clock. We're very much into just the regular time, and we have no mission completion. So it's going to be on Obi. Does he have the ability to frame in a 5 of 8, or is he going to just try and finish with the idea that hopefully I've been incredibly unsuspicious and gotten a low light, including with the fake banana bread? He has, but does he necessarily know that? It's hard to say.
I think our plan here is definitely more leaning towards frame, and I think that may have been deliberate, seeming as OP didn't even try to do any kind of flirt. So at this point, I'd probably say we track the reject chain and we try to purloin by and end up blaming someone.
Okay, this is the microfilm spot, and these guys keep on taking books out immediately. Okay, we're assuming that we're low lit. This is greedy. Um, but we should get away with it.
We still need to get away with 4 more missions in 2 minutes 10, which is gonna be scrambly.
Yes, scrambly is a good word for it, because it's not a rush, right? There's nothing rushy about this. We've spent 4 minutes doing nothing, but we
Well,
are going to need to do a bunch of missions in a scrambly fashion, and banana bread purloin would fit the bill. The problem is if DA takes, there's no chain. It will be very confusing if we purloin here. Green test would help. Oh god, he got the quick leave too. OP's not playing like he's necessarily a low light. But if we're gonna hit a bunch of greens, this is gonna be a really hard game for Screws to pull back.
and Rocker takes it, who was a highlight for quite a
Oh,
while
good
early
stuff,
in the game.
Screw. He recovers the low light. He knows the chain included the low lit twin. He probably doesn't know that we had the microfilm in pocket, but you're playing against Opie. Like things like bug are probably being assumed when you've had someone low lit for 2 or 3 minutes.
Oh, you're gonna OP's gonna banana bread here now, and the thing is, Rocker is still in the conversation.
A
Ooh.
banana bread brug is gonna be tempting, but with only 2 highlights, don't do it.
Banana
You
bread.
can't do this bug.
Oh
Good
yeah.
stuff from Screw.
For like I've corrected myself earlier, you can, but you're not gonna survive.
We die for the we die for the banana bread potentially. The bug I think came after the shot. But Screwloose recovering from a low lit spy situation, just having a absolutely pristine understanding that the list was rejected by Twin and that really quick reject too. Just a fantastic minor catch, but minor catches are all it takes in Spy Party sometimes. And a minor catch is going to put him in a really commanding position to win this set. What's the score line that we're looking at,
Uh,
Corvus?
5-2, I believe. Oh,
Or
sorry.
Canada? Perfect. We got one
Sorry.
more
Five
game
two.
on 5-2.
Sorry.
Perfect. So Screwloose can actually guarantee a at least tie with a spy win here as Cowboy in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Catnip,
And
who do you call this character?
I call him Cowboy.
Cowboy? He
Yes.
has, I think he has the most names of anybody other than maybe like Disney. I think Disney has a
Uh,
lot of names too.
Cowboy, Texan, Carlos. That's 3.
Yeah, 3 is a lot.
Yeah, that's
That's more than
certainly
Mom. Mom has 1.5.
I know 3.
Yep. Okay, Screwloose got his 29%. We're off to try and flirt, but Irish is walking the other direction. And what's the plan here, Screw?
Uh,
Atrocious path, but
Potentially
it's fine.
microfilm. Uh, Especially because we're taking the book. I don't think the cheese would work in this case. Party is a bit dispersed and there's not that much cover for it. Um, no, just an innocent take. We
Yeah,
need some more flirt probably.
bug.
Bug is probably watch here. Or not.
Opie is probably gonna be suspicious of this.
Yeah.
He really should be. Opie, not like the biggest bug watcher in the world, but he's definitely on that high end of that list. And things like this path, he should be unconfident about. This is a sort of thing that the spy can get away with, but needs to be credited if you're going to be winning sets, especially with the deficit that we're put ourselves in.
Yeah. And I think in this match so far, both of the players have been uh watching the bug quite meticulous.
Yeah, and with this scoreline, we're looking at Screwloose up 5-2. He also like action prioritied one of his spy games. Like Screwloose could have been in a position where this could have been 6-1 already, and that's an absolutely fantastic thing when you're coming in as the lowest person active in your division, uh, and showing off some real class. This is less classy, but the laser was rotated way over. I think that actually is just completely off camera.
I believe that was not seen. Yes, we had quite a lot of cover for it. SDA was next to us as well. Toby was on our side, but Ambassador was on the left, and OP even zoomed in the center convo for furloin check, so that should be fine.
This is
Finally,
optimistic. Yeah, the flirt there was optimistic, but we can get the second one. And we hit the green. It actually might have been even better because we hit the green instead of the long green instead of the short white. Short white is my nickname for Smallman. We're gonna do a BB split into microfilm here, and we eat the low light. Screw loose is in the position that we saw Opie in. Ah, there we go. Opie also has the presence of mind to bring back the low light, not be as confident as he is about it, and we're gonna slap this book. Is it gonna be game over? It's
that
not.
is interesting camera work.
White test microfilms are incredibly undesirable against a camper like Opie, but we've gotten away with it, and we have a clear plan. Seduce, hit the green test, and then something else. That's not the thing that we wanted, and now we got a
Uh,
highlight for it.
and it's also not that clear of a plan.
Oh no, gross. Seduction target doing briefcase is going to eat up a lot of time. We still need to do our fifth mission. Purloin makes
Panic
sense.
Purloin.
White test,
I
we're
would
dead.
I would be okay
We're
with
going to do this.
Purloin if we didn't have one more flirt left.
We're not dead yet. Opie's not willing to shoot on the moment, but where's Irish? We need her. We need to go to the window because we can't find our seduction target. This isn't gonna be enough time.
Green time ad?
No.
No, probably not enough. There we go.
1.9 seconds on the time ad start. There's one character who can get away with that, and it's small white. It's Smallman. Short white. Short white. There we go.
That one.
The
I call him Penguin.
Penguin. I like Penguin. DeVito. He's got lots of names too. But the Purloin doesn't get a shot, and I think that's a testament to how well Screwloose played the rest of this. If he'd hit the green test at the windows, we'd be up 6-2. Not the case. Screwloose does take the L here, but he's got plenty of chances. We've got 4 more games to go, or at most 4 more games. Screwloose could actually end it prematurely. OP playing some mom, or I guess because it's OP, it's teal for him. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, definitely still possible to bring it down. And Birch is
Ooh.
doing some shenanigans, because why not?
Bug, bug, bug.
No, too visible.
Da, da, da.
Yeah, you get shot for it. It's like way too visible for bug.
Yeah, so the nice thing about this banana bread, right, is it's super early. It's actually a fake, which is like really quite weird. And then you're very much setting yourself up for like while in the huge wave of lowlights, getting a mission. The problem is the mission that we are choosing is so far away, and when we're walking that direction, there's just nothing that direction for
Yep.
enough time for Screwloose to get all of his lowlights. Screwloose goes for his last lowlight at 346, and the bug comes off at 345. So OP's about a second too late in the wave, and Screwloose is all over it.
Yeah, and like kind of like the idea, but the RNG hindered us there, and we still went for it aside instead of adjusting and doing something else.
Yeah, adjusting with aggressive plays is very much necessary, and I think OP has more practice it than anybody, but it's still a hard skill to master for anybody. We got Screwloose in match point here as Sam in danger. We got a few of these. We got 3 chances for Screwloose. Let's see if we can do it on the first one in 3, 2, 1, playing it. AI control wants to bug, but Screwloose is gonna just casually take control here in the conversation instead, and I don't think we're gonna get credit for the bug, thankfully.
Yeah, I think that was visible enough for the bug, and therefore at the same time quite visible that the bug did not happen in this case.
Okay, conversations are filling up pretty quickly. We need to get into the conversation that has the DA though, if we're gonna look for the early banana bread. Uh, you always do want to wait till at least the people who've done like the very early inspects come into conversation too, and it looks like it's all falling apart. Screwless just got nothing to start to show for in the first 45 seconds.
Yeah, Queen is now at the bar, which means she would be definitely a lovely potential for the frame later in the game, especially if we want to do Purloin as a from her.
Wheel's getting absolutely beat up here, and Screwloose is eyeing him down. And we're gonna meet him at the bar, maybe with a bug in between.
We could, yeah, Shark was a bit too high to hide that, and we were being watched. We go for our first flirt. We're kind of. It feels like there's still a decent amount of time left, but at the same time, I also feel that we're already behind
Yeah,
because we
I
had
think
done.
Screwloose, if he had the option, would just say, "Can we start the game over? I
Yeah,
spent this,
that's
I
very
spent
much
the
the
first 90
feeling.
seconds, and I would like a redo if you'd give it to me." Opie probably actually would take it too. He's had a very busy party, with a lot of people doing the early bar and specs. It looks like it's calmed down a bit. Screwloose does have options though. If he wants to delegate it to someone, there's a couple of highlights he could choose, and I think a lot of people make sense. Or just choose Smallman.
Banana bread.
I mean, we probably just went there to go and flirt with banana bread, but yeah, Smallman is a good choice.
We gulp the drink. We do not want to be caught red-handed. Uh, so Screw's a bit more drunk and 96%. We'll see how he's going to finish this. It could be a timer flirt. The highlight comes off on Smallman. What's the other reactions to this purloin? It doesn't look like there's much more to it.
Yeah,
He's not even taking the lowlights, which is always concerning.
I think we lowlight the blink for it, but that's it, which is a bit interesting.
Yeah, when we don't see the lowlights coming, we know it's concerning, but it's hard to say who for. Wheels, who's had some really weird pathing and some bug paths, does take the shot here. Good stuff from Screwloose, and I do believe that's the set. Getting a couple civilian shots here, which has been a bit of luck, but I think mainly it's been Screwloose really doing a good job of soft framing. He did the hard frame on Redwoods, but he's done a good job of keeping civilians having strong alibis or strong lack of alibis.
Yeah, definitely played well by both players. Wheels, I can very much see why the wheel shot happens there. He was active and, like you said, questionable pass and all kinds of things. And just overall, Drew had the upper hand throughout more or less the whole of the match. So the win is deserved.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the platinum standings now, not including Yeesh, who dropped out early in the season. Everybody's within 4 points. Rio has the most points. Lazy Bear has I read it's actually 98765. Lazy Bear has a few more games in pocket. Screwloose and Opie are actually at the bottom, but both of them are in shouting reach. If either of them can finish off this season strong, they're definitely going to be in contention. Even for like the top spot. Like Platinum's fully up for grabs, and we're gonna be having to cast more platinum matches, so that'll be a pleasure because they're such high quality. and the players are actually quite interesting to watch in their own right, despite
Very much so.
in addition to their quality.